Hi, my name is Ana Herrera. I go by the stage name of Deadly Jen. I am a singer, songwriter, recording artist, and a performing artist.
My name is Nicholas Maradiaga. I just go by Nick, and I'm a guitar player, composer. I guess I'm also an artist on the side, but yeah, I just go to school here at Sam Houston.
Who or what inspired you to make music in the first place?
I was inspired to write my own music when I really started performing in cover bands, and I used music as an outlet to express myself and my emotions. My music kind of serves as my own personal diary that I also get to share with the world to become an art form as well, because I love to sing, and it's also a creative outlet for me as well because I love telling stories and writing poetry.
I think I first started music when I was just in band in like 6th grade, but I didn't really care for making my own or playing the guitar till around like 8th grade when I picked up my sister's like Toys R Us pink guitar, and I just started like learning Seven Nation Army on it. And it was learning stuff like that and like Eric Clapton by Layla by Eric Clapton and like various Led Zeppelin songs just made me fall in love with the process of learning and playing music, I guess.
And what genre would you say your music falls into?
I would say that my genre falls into the alternative umbrella. I pull from different types of alternative music like rock, and there's different subgenres that I also like as well. I love metal, I love grunge, but it may not be that specific one, so I would say, yeah, just alternative.
And who are some bands or artists that influenced your music?
There are a lot. I listened to a lot of metal starting in middle school. My favorite band is System of a Down. And I also listened to a lot of women in rock like Ann Wilson, Amy Lee, Hayley Williams. And I also listened to Led Zeppelin. Robert Plant is another huge inspiration vocally for me. I just love all the power that those people bring to rock music. Lizzie Hale is another great example of who inspires me. She's really talented and her vocals are very powerful, and I definitely strive to convey that power when singing.
I love like Green Day, Blink-182, like stuff like old stuff like that, like Nirvana, Pearl Jam. As soon as I found Jimi Hendrix, like in freshman year, my life changed. That and jazz, like John Coltrane, Charles Mingus, like characters like that really inspired me to keep playing.
And how do you feel about the current Huntsville/Sam Houston music scene?
I think that it's really fun, and I've had a really great time performing at bars like 12th Street. I wish that there would be more venues to perform at and kind of set up cool spaces to where local artists here can perform. I think that everyone is very supportive of each other and that they seem to not be afraid of expressing themselves and performing freely for all their peers.
It's pretty chill. I'm pretty new to it, so I haven't experienced a ton of it, but anytime I've gone out and performed a show, like all the other bands have always been really cool and the crowds have always been really nice.
And what are some of your favorite venues around town?
I haven't had the chance to perform at any aside from 12th Street, but I've seen that Sipsies has put on a few performances before. The guitarist who plays for me, he's our keyboardist and guitarist, Jacob. He has performed at Sipsies with his band The News a few times, and it looks like a lot of fun because it's a huge yard. So I think an opportunity to perform there is really cool and would be fun.
My favorite to play at is probably Sipsies. I played one gig there last month, and I love the open venue. 12th Street's really cool. Tipsy Tio's is nice. Yeah, there's the only ones around here that I played at, but they've all been pretty chill.
What is it like balancing being a student as well as an artist?
I won't lie, it is really hard. As a music major, it's pretty difficult to find time to rehearse with everyone because everyone in my band is a music major, and my voice is my instrument, which obviously is a part of my body, and if you exhaust your body too much, then you're gonna overwork yourself and it's going to be really hard to perform all the time when you're already singing for like 4 hours or more a day, and when we're expected to practice like an hour every day and go to all these recitals and sing in our own recitals. It can be really hard to balance it, but I think we've done a really good job of moving around that, and this is what I want to pursue and it's what I love, so I have no problem putting aside some extra time, albeit it may not be as much time as I want. It's definitely enough right now and I'm happy with it.
It feels like, you know, you're getting tugged at from like all angles. Like there's always some new project, always someone who needs your time, someone who needs a rehearsal this day or a recital this other day, you know. And yeah, it's pretty hard, but it's just about balancing it, I guess.
And how often would you say the two overlap?
I would say that they overlap a lot because I'm using the same technique I would use classically in regards to my breath support and not singing with my throat and having that space. And my voice lessons here really encourage healthy singing that absolutely benefit what I'm doing outside of the school of music.
Like all the time, like constantly. Like a lot of people who I work with are just like fellow students, people who I meet in the hallways or like who just find my Instagram through a classmate or something. And a lot of my learning comes from, you know, my classes and my lessons, and a lot of like the classical music that I'm now learning, I would have never pursued that otherwise, but it helped my playing like a lot.
What about your relationship with the Sam Houston School of Music? Like, how would you say that ties into being a local artist?
I think it's really helped a lot. You know, like that's where most of my discovery comes from. People just find me through the school, I guess.
How did you come across Nick and just the rest of the band in general?
I came across Nick via Instagram. I was recruiting members for my band because I wanted people to play original music and just have fun playing around town because I'm very passionate about writing and performing. So I contacted him because my friend gave me his contact info, and I asked him if he wanted to be a guitarist in our band because he's a really talented guitar player in the jazz band, and I was very happy when he said yes.
And how did you end up playing guitar for Deadly Gen?
Our drummer John one day just kind of messaged me and he was like, "Hey, you trying to be in a rock band?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not really doing anything else." So he told me to hit up Hannah, and she just kind of scheduled something for like 4 months after the fact. And then I forgot about it, and then I joined when it came around.
Nice.
I contacted Jacob, John, and Aiden in person because I've seen them around and I've seen them playing for other local bands around here. And I was like, "Hey, I'm having this project. Would you guys like to be a part of it? I'll send you my music and you can tell me yes or no." And they're like, "Yeah, we're down." So yeah.
And how would you say you got your start here in Huntsville?
So I've been performing around the Houston area since I was like 12 years old, and it was quite simple to start reaching out to venues because I was already used to doing that in Houston and I've been doing it for so long. So I just reached out places and was like, "Hey, I'd like to play here." I did that with 12th Street, and I've done 3 or 4 gigs with them already when we have the time. So yeah, I just did a lot of networking with the people around here.
Well, that's interesting. Actually, I was in a Latin band for a little while. We played a lot of salsa music, and the director of that band, his assistant, he was also in the jazz ensemble that I'm in now. So I just kind of expressed to him that I wanted to be part of it, and he was like, "Oh, I got you. I'll make a call." So he just kind of called, you know, the director of the jazz ensemble, arranged a meeting, and I just kind of was like, "Well, if I'm a shoo-in, I might as well."
And where does the name Deadly Gen come from? Like, is it like a reference to something? Or...
Yes, it's absolutely a reference to something. I am a fan of the band called Hole, which is a grunge band. They have a song called Jennifer's Body, which Jennifer's Body is also a movie with Megan Fox in it. And I think that that aura really represents the type of look I'm trying to go for. and come across as to my audience. So I just put Deadly Jen because she's a femme fatale figure.
And what other projects or groups are you or have you been a part of in the past?
I've performed in 2 main bands. One of them was solely a cover band that I did while I was in high school and making money off, and also it was a lot of fun because I love singing live, and it was something to do aside from homework and stuff that had to do with what I wanted to pursue in life, which is performing music. The other band I was in is called Promising Lies, and we were an emo band, and that one is all original music, but we perform covers as well pertaining to that particular genre. And we're still looking to release our EP. I've just been really busy, and even though the band disbanded, we're still wanting to release the music that we wrote because we thought it was really good.
Not a ton. Like the aforementioned, I was in a salsa group for about like 6 years. Most of my playing, that's really all I played, just a lot of Latin music. And I was in like a school of rock for a little bit when I first started. And right now I'm part of like this country cover band. We haven't really gotten off the ground yet, but we're just kind of starting because I just got invited to it.
It's cool.
And of course, Deadly Jen is one thing I'm a part of right now.
And what are some of the more difficult parts of being a local/college town artist that you feel like doesn't really get brought up a whole lot?
I guess the more difficult parts of being a local artist is that since not a lot of people know who you are, not a lot of people want to come to your shows unless you really network with them and form relationships with them. So I feel like that's a problem with a lot of independent and indie artists, is that they kind of struggle coming up and they have to form a lot of connections and like play a game of telephone to have people support them.
There's so few of us, I think, is one thing. Like there's so few people who are willing to like do things. Like a lot of the musicians here, they'll like entertain the idea, but very few will actually like go out of their way to work on stuff. You know, like the selection's kind of crazy, and because of that, like being someone who will do things, you kind of get asked to do things a lot, and so your plate fills up pretty quickly.
Yeah. And what about challenges you yourself have faced?
Well, I guess that, honestly, just from all directions, like from my school, from the people, from like my peers, I'm always like needed for some kind of project. And then back at home, I do a lot of like, I do some art stuff for my family. So I just get asked to do stuff like that a lot. I'm just always busy all the time.
I've been suffering with chronic lung problems that it started last semester. And I feel like that has been really impactful to my technique and learning how to sing around that. It's been getting a lot better with the treatment I've been doing and medication I've been taking, but last semester it was almost impossible to sing songs that I have written before the illness started, and learning how to navigate through that. A lot of my range was impacted, and I wasn't able to sing in my mixed range a lot, which is where I write most of my songs because I was originally very comfortable with that, and because of the lack of air that I was receiving in my body, it was very difficult to sustain that. So I'm still working to overcome that challenge, and I'm sure I will overcome it one day, but that's been one thing that's really hard. Another thing is obviously the vocal fatigue that you can get from singing a lot and having a lot of stuff to do. Our gig at 12th Street on April 26th was the day after my senior recital, which was an hour and a half long. So I was a bit nervous on how that would go, but I've been in very similar boats before where you're constantly busy anyway, that you just kind of get used to it.
And your Instagram says that you make music for femme fatales. What exactly does that mean?
So femme fatale translates to deadly woman, and I feel like that my stage name, Deadly Jen, is portraying this woman who is very powerful and dark and in touch with the darker side of her emotions. And I feel like women are often shamed for taking up a lot of space with those emotions, and are also shamed for expressing themselves and deemed way too emotional. and are often called crazy when they express themselves in that way. So I wanted to kind of play off of that because I've definitely experienced some backlash in that regard. And I wanted to be like, well, this is an outlet for the darker feelings that I feel, and I'm not going to let it define me, but I'm going to embrace that side of me.
And earlier you said you compose music. What all, I guess, do you compose really?
I like really kind of anything. I like in my free time. I like to make like Mac DeMarco-esque, little tracks. But for like academics and for real, I compose a lot of jazz, like I guess like big band-esque charts and small combo band-esque charts. And for the school that I've had performed, I guess like neoclassical would be how you could describe it, or classical inspired. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I just work on stuff like that, and my goal is always to make something, have it performed, and just bring it to life.
Who are some people that have helped you get to where you're at today?
Definitely my family. My family has been my biggest support. They've paid for my college. They've paid for all the musical endeavors I've wanted to do. They're very supportive of what I want to do in life. So especially my mom and my grandma, they have funded like everything, and they have encouraged me this entire time to just chase my dreams full send. And I'm also signed to or contracted with an artist developing company based in Tennessee and Florida. So they've been helping me record music and kind of develop who I am, even though I've been in college and have been super busy. They're still on the sidelines waiting for me to be done.
That's good.
Probably my family. Definitely my family. Like my mom and my sister have just been like titans for me in support. Since a lot of my family, most of my family actually, didn't really support it. I don't come from a family of musicians, so there's a very heavy stigma of get a real job. What are you doing? You're not an engineer. That's lame. So it's just like the people who did support me supported me a lot, and I'm very appreciative towards that.
And what all do you have in store for the future?
I plan on, after graduating, moving to Tennessee, Nashville specifically, to continue pursuing songwriting, singing, performing in front of people. And I hope that I get signed to a record label eventually, because I want to make do of all the hard work that I've been putting into all of this.
I just always want to do music. No matter what, I want to do music. I don't mind if I end up being a waiter. As long as I come home and I do music, that's really what I want to do. But my goal is to make that my living, throughout really just writing. Writing's my passion, as opposed to guitar.
And what would you say your end goal is? Like you're in it for the fame, for the money, or like you said before, just because you love doing it?
I love doing it. That I would put that on the top of the pyramid. Definitely want to make a career off of singing and make that my livelihood, so I don't have to be stuck in a 9-to-5 job doing something that I don't love. I definitely want to make a career off something that I do love. So the money and the fame kind of fall into doing it because I love it.
I'm just in it because I love doing it. I don't really care for fame. I'd be okay if no one really knew who I was. That's fine. The money would be nice, but really I'm just doing it because I just love making music. I love playing music.
And what are some important moments in your career that have helped shape who you are now?
Definitely meeting the people in my team, because those are some huge connections, and I feel like I'm off to an amazing start and have such a massive road of opportunity ahead of me. So that's really what's keeping me going, is that hope that I feel that I'm actually going to make something out of myself.
Probably every time I've gone on stage and just made a fool of myself. This has been so many times. I've played so many shows where I've just gone up there and walked off stage feeling so embarrassed, just to go back next week and have to try again. Moments like that, and just being forced to overcome just almost a sense of shame, I guess. Still going back and just showing my face and trying to do better. Doing that over and over again has really shaped me into myself.
And what advice do you have to give for anyone aspiring to become an artist or musician?
This is cliche, but no matter how hard it gets, never give up. If you don't find yourself happy doing anything else, keep pushing, keep pursuing music. you're not wasting your time, and nothing is ever a waste of time when you truly love it. And don't let go of that passion, even though I know it's really hard when things are rough, but you gotta hold on to that if you're wanting to make it. And you don't have any control over what happens in the future, but you have control into how much you practice, how much time you put into it, how much effort you put into it. And really that plays a part into the best possible outcome, and you should always hope for the best.
Take up your instrument all the time. There's been so many times where like I just didn't want to play my guitar or didn't want to practice, I didn't want to practice piano, but I just sat down and I was like, I'll just do one thing. I'll play the scale up and down once, and next thing you know, I can't put it down.
You got any final thoughts you want to leave with?
Yeah, never stop going. You should always believe in yourself, and if you want to get into music, there's never a better time to start. Make sure to always support your local community of musicians, because you never know who's going to be the next Beyonce or Lady Gaga or now Chapel Roan. And it's really special when we see a bunch of people in our community supporting us doing what we love. It's very encouraging.
Yeah, I think whatever it is that you're trying to do, I think just do it. A lot of people always get bogged down in like the can I or should I, but whether it's like art, drawing or like tattooing or playing guitar, piano, or sewing or something, I think it's always good to just try something, because you never know what you're gonna like.
And what platforms can we find you on?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, trying to work on having a Twitter. I have a website, and yeah, just anything you can think of, I'm probably on it.
Just Instagram, at Nick_was_Nick.
All right, well, I guess that's all I got for now. Thank you for showing up.
Of course, thank you.
Well, that's all the questions we got for now.